What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to the Liverpool Brighton post-match reaction and analysis video. And what an absolute disaster for Liverpool after being 2-0 up after 24 minutes and also scoring a third goal, which I think should have been given, even though it was handball. It was a very unintentional handball. What is Mane supposed to do? Chop his arm off to not let the ball hit his hand? Because yeah, that goal should have been allowed, and then it's 3-0. Probably Brighton don't come far back from that. But from 2-0 up after 24 minutes to draw this game, it feels like a defeat, but I will say something outrageous. Brighton is one of the best teams that Liverpool played this season. They are one of the most well-coached teams in the Premier League, and Graham Potter surely will be in the running if Man United sack Solskjaer or if any other top managerial job is available, because Brighton actually played better than Liverpool in the second half, and Liverpool were a little bit lucky to get a draw here. And I want to say a huge thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring my channel for this month. OneFootball is the home of football, my favorite app. I've been using it for years. You can find all kinds of football news on there, and also you can find the stats, the latest transfer news. I've been going there almost every day checking the Liverpool transfer news, because they combine the best and most interesting transfer news and football news. And you can find also interesting videos, stats, analysis, fantasy football tips, and all kinds of interesting football related content on the OneFootball apps, and it's completely free. So what are you waiting for? Make sure to download OneFootball using the link in the video's description, and you support the channel as well that way. Brighton played amazing football in the second half, and Liverpool looked tired, disjointed, out of ideas. Of course, it didn't help that Naby Keita went off injured, holding his leg. I really hope it's not a muscle injury, but it looked like it. And Naby Keita just can't catch a break after Pogba was breaking his ankle last weekend. Now he gets another injury, and Oxlade-Chamberlain came on, and straight away he gave an assist for Mane, who was brilliant today, and he really should have scored 2 goals, I think. He did score 2 goals, but VAR disallowed it. Was that a clear and obvious error? Because the referee actually gives the Mane goal, but then VAR says it hits his hand, so it's disallowed. But didn't they change the handball rule in the summer? So unintentional handballs don't count. I'm not sure, but it felt a wrong decision at the time. Salah also stopped his goal scoring form today, but yeah, he just looked a little bit tired. But he still gave an assist, and Jordan Henderson smashed in an absolute rocket into the top corner. But Henderson also in the second half, he looked a little bit tired, and I think the midfield injuries just caught up with Liverpool. We really miss Fabinho. Fabinho is the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League and one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. And Thiago is probably the second best midfielder of Liverpool, and they are both missing for many weeks now. The forward players, of course, were on fire in recent weeks. I mean, Liverpool won 5-0 against Watford, 5-0 against Man United. But this was just one step too far maybe for the midfield. The midfield looked out of energy in the second half. Brighton just passed it around us. Mvepu scores one of the greatest goals of the season, but also, did he mean it? Because it looks like he's not even looking at the goal, he just crosses it and he overhits the cross in the 41st minute, and it loops over Alisson and into the far corner. So I think that's a lucky goal for Brighton, but you can't really argue against them deserving a draw, because the second half Brighton were actually the better team. First half both teams had 4 shots each. Second half, yes, Liverpool had 10 shots, but only 1 shot on target, and Liverpool had 5 blocked shots, so that's where Liverpool, I think, need to improve. We are drawing too many games. Yes, Liverpool are still unbeaten, but we have drawn against the likes of Brentford and now Brighton, so we really need to up our game, because now Chelsea are 3 points clear of Liverpool at the top of the table, and Chelsea have a very easy run of games. They play Burnley, Leicester, Man United, Watford, West Ham, Leeds, Everton, Wolves and Aston Villa. So I expect Chelsea to win a lot of these games. And Liverpool, yes, we also have pretty winnable games coming up, but we also play West Ham away, Arsenal at home. That's 2 very tough fixtures. After that we have some winnable games coming up, but Liverpool probably need to get as many midfielders back fit as possible, because I mean Minamino had to play midfield in the second half. Jurgen Klopp was a little bit late to make the substitutions. He didn't change any players after the Naby Keita Oxlade-Chamberlain switch, which was a forced substitution. He didn't make any changes until the 78th minute, when Jota came on for Firmino and Minamino came on for Curtis Jones in the 87th minute. I didn't really understand why he doesn't trust Minamino more, because the midfield just looked tired for Liverpool. I thought Konate had a pretty good game. Defensively, Van Dijk doesn't look as good as he was before his injury. I think he still needs a lot of games to get back to his absolute full imperious self. But otherwise, like, don't take anything away from Brighton. Credit to Brighton. They stopped Liverpool playing in the second half. They pressed us high. They were just more energetic, more enthusiastic, and they wanted it more. They probably had more in the tank because Brighton, I think they didn't play in midweek in the League Cup. Oh yes, they did. But Liverpool just didn't have the legs today in the second half. And the lucky thing for Liverpool is that Manchester City lost at home to Crystal Palace 2-0, which was a shock of the weekend. This is also a shock that Liverpool didn't win, because everybody expected us to thump Brighton. Everybody who doesn't watch Brighton, because Brighton are in a 6th place on merit. They are a better coach team than teams like Tottenham or Manchester United. Yes, they don't have as many individual talents. They don't have as many like high quality players. But as a team, they are probably a better team as a team unit than Manchester United or Tottenham. I'm not saying that they will finish higher, because without star players, Brighton will find it tough in the long term. But right now, they are in 6th place very, very deservedly. Their one main problem is that they lack a prolific goal scorer in the team. But otherwise, as I said, Brighton is a very well coached team. And Liverpool, of course, after 2-0 up, you expect Liverpool to win. But credit to Brighton, they could have just given up and caved in after 2-0. And maybe if the Mane goal is given, maybe that would have happened. At 3-0, not many teams try to come back at Anfield, because you could get like routed 5 or 6-0 if you push up at 3-0. Down, but at 2-0 Brighton had a very reasonable belief that they can get something, and especially like last season, I think Brighton were one of the teams who won at Liverpool in that horrific run when Liverpool lost like 5 or 6 home games in a row. So back-to-back seasons, Brighton collected 4 points in 2 games at Anfield, which is absolutely amazing, and that doesn't happen by accident. Brighton were actually the better team last season in the Liverpool-Brighton game, and this time you could argue that they were at least as good as Liverpool. But if you just count the shots on target, Brighton had twice as many shots on target as Liverpool. And in the second half there was a 5-minute spell where Brighton actually had twice as much possession as Liverpool. I know that's a very small sample size, but it shows that for large periods of the second half, Brighton actually played some very good slick passing football, and Liverpool just weren't up to their best usual standards. Because of course, if Liverpool play to their maximum ability, that they can blow Brighton out of the park. And when it comes to the title race, Liverpool have to be very, very careful not to let Chelsea run away in first place and get a 6, 7, 8 point lead, because that will be very, very difficult to claw back, especially against the Chelsea side, who don't look like conceding goals. Chelsea have the best defense in the Premier League by far, conceding only 3 goals in 10 games, which is absolutely amazing. And as I said, Liverpool have very, very tough games to come. Atletico Madrid, West Ham and Arsenal, and they are 3 proper teams, even better than Brighton. And Chelsea have Burnley, Leicester, Malmö, so pretty winnable games. And I think if Chelsea win the next 2 and Liverpool draw or lose 1 or 2 of the next 2 games, Liverpool could look at a 5, 6, 7 point gap to Chelsea, which, even though we are not even we are like 1/4 of the season has been completed already, so we still have 70-75% of the season left. Liverpool can't fall 7 or 8 points behind Chelsea, because Chelsea look absolutely relentless at the moment. So Liverpool really, of course, we need to focus on the Liverpool Atletico Madrid game, and that will be a huge motivation for Liverpool. If we can win against Atletico and basically wrap up the Champions League qualification after only 4 game weeks. Now Liverpool can fully concentrate on the Premier League for like 3 months and not worry about the Champions League. We can rest players in the Champions League, give fringe players playing time, and still we have a chance of winning the Champions League group even by doing that. And Liverpool would do well to focus only on the Premier League. Liverpool are the best scoring team in the Premier League, scoring an amazing 29 goals in 10 games, which is almost a 3 goal per game ratio. Liverpool need to buck up defensively, and of course it doesn't help that Jurgen Klopp keeps changing the centre backs. Today Van Dijk and Konate played, but the way Konate played against Man United, I think it was justified. But maybe give Matip or Joe Gomez another chance in the next game. But of course Jurgen Klopp will select the centre back pairings depending on the strength of the opposition, and West Ham will have Antonio, so we will have a strong centre back playing anyway alongside Van Dijk. Let me know, what did you think of the game? Who was your man of the match? Do you think a draw was the fair result? And also, should Mane's goal be given or not? What is your opinion on that? And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.